Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today. Sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, anything I say is alleged and in my very, very personal opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only. None of this is personal. The Copyright Act of 1976 is in the description box. Some meat and potatoes, some housekeeping items. It is free to follow me. Free to follow me on this channel, Anonymous Tea. Free to follow me on my other channel, Anonymous Tea Podcast. There is new content over there. Follow me on the Tickety Talk at Anonymous Tea Podcast. Free to follow me on the Instagram. On the Instagram, he's at Anonymous Reality Tea. Free to share everywhere. Free to like the video so it gets out to the algorithm. Free to share with your family, your friends, and your foes, and coming or going, hit the like button. So today we're talking Real Housewives of Atlanta. Today we are talking because if you blinked, you missed it, y'all. PORSHA did a post and delete, basically coming for SHAMEA. Basically, like, listen, look at here, like on my mama. And before we get into it, let me say this. I am team nobody. I am team nobody because I feel as though at this point, there's a reason that SHAMEA and PORSHA have still been thick as thieves, even if their friendship was on the rocks all this time, even after all the shenanigans that have taken place when even SHAMEA was just a friend of, and still she was riding hard for PORSHA. So to allow a couple of episodes, allow some instigating by Angela and Kelly and everything else to just completely torpedo this friendship is weird to me. And it's telling me y'all really weren't that good of friends to begin with if y'all allowing this show to really blow up y'all friendship like this. So I'm going to get into what PORSHA posted and why I think really at this point it's just going to be what it's going to be at this reunion. And I don't think either party is going to come out looking good when it's all said and done. So PORSHA said she posted this as an actual post on her Instagrammies and also posted this on her actual Insta stories. I'ma just say this. I'm watching new episode and tag SHAMEA Morton, right? Now, don't take it there. Don't imply SHIT about Diane Williams. I've been keeping it cute / quiet, and you can do and say what you want in me, but hear me when I say, in all caps, wrong road. Talking about, well, your mom thought mom was a friend, knowing God D well, what she did to my mom is highly egregious. Don't do it. Keep playing victim and that BS. Don't F with my all caps mom. Exclamation point. This again was a post that was deleted on PORSHA's Instagrammies, and this also was a post that was deleted from her Insta stories. However, the neighborhood talk, the Bravo shade rule, everybody picked it up. Everybody picked it up because it was PORSHA, and even PORSHA was in the comments because I had screen grabbed one of the comments because something told me that this was not going to last long on PORSHA social media. That PORSHA was going to delete this quick, fast, in a hurry. And essentially what happened was somebody in the comments was like, you know, we don't know what's going on. Is this in regards to the new episode? And PORSHA responded, yes. So here's my thing. If we're going the angle that SHAMEA's applying something nefarious about Mama Diane, why isn't the same energy being applied that Mama Diane was being messy a few episodes ago and discussing SHAMEA and basically telling PORSHA, giving her that warning, like you need to be watching out for SHAMEA because SHAMEA is a messy da-da-da-da-da. Why aren't we giving that same energy? And then just the other day, SHAMEA was on The Breakfast Club, right? And she basically put it out there the reason her and PORSHA were friends were kind of she really said they were a forced friendship at first when they were kids, because she said that her mom and PORSHA's mama Diane used to be besties. Keyword, used to be besties. They're not besties anymore. There was some sort of a falling out. We don't know the reason or the rationale for the falling out, but it seems as though essentially PORSHA and SHAMEA had went on their way. When SHAMEA went to college, PORSHA was doing her own thing, and it sounded like after college or whatever else, they somehow reconvened, got back together, and they were friends ever since. It seems as though really, once PORSHA got married the first time to Cordell, that's when their friendship synced back up and they were supposedly thick as thieves, right? And for people who are going to say, because I already know what's going to happen, right? People are going to say, PORSHA, you should have kept this quiet, save this for the reunion, da-da-da. But the thing of it is, low-key, PORSHA kind of has been quiet, if we want to keep it a buck. Her YouTube is a whole PR campaign to talk about everything but the show. I think she mentioned the show the first couple of episodes, and since then, it's been a wrap. She has mentioned, the comments that she made about Angela at the bank, and really has focused in and zoned in on the Drew, Sidora, and Dennis of it all. But she really is not talking about much else, if y'all peep it, right? Even the episode with her mom, with Mama Diane, they're talking about, PORSHA's life growing up and other stuff and other shenanigans. But however, on the other end, SHAMEA has been talking PORSHA. She's been talking a lot about PORSHA in these blogs, in these interviews. Kelly is attached to SHAMEA's hip, which I find very interesting. I find this very interesting that she's an automatic bestie, and this is the same person who came for PORSHA, and you're telling people, I don't like people disrespecting my friendship or coming for my friends or this and that, but literally, I had no clue that SHAMEA and Kelly were glued together in New York City, apparently, because Kelly had posted footage that she's been with SHAMEA this past week. And I had no clue. I thought it was just SHAMEA that was at the front. I thought it was just SHAMEA that was at the Breakfast Club interview. I thought it was just SHAMEA because another interview just came out with Kate Chastain, who does not like PORSHA. They just did an interview with SHAMEA. And Sheena from Vanderpump Rules and somebody else, and still talking about PORSHA and talking about letting outsiders affect their friendship. But my thing is, we can say this is both ways. I can argue you're allowing Kelly and other people as well who just came on the show impact this friendship. I feel like for you to have still been cool with PORSHA all this time, after everything that's happened on the show, either PORSHA's got some tea and you don't want it out there, or you're still to this day desperate for this friendship, no matter how bad it looks. And it's weird, but you're presenting it as though you're the victim, that you're the only person that's being wronged here, but I feel like both of y'all are in the wrong. If we're just keeping it a buck about this season alone, PORSHA technically has not been messy about SHAMEA. Her mom has been messy, but PORSHA has not been. PORSHA's been messy about Drew Sidora. PORSHA's been messy about Angela Oakley. PORSHA has been messy about Kenya and everything else, right? She's been messy about all these other things, but she hasn't been really messy when it came to SHAMEA this season. But we're finding out on SHAMEA's end. Now, PORSHA's actions, the show aspect of her showing up late to SHAMEA's party, and PORSHA as well saying that, that the sound at Angela's Money Bake event sounded like a Drew Sidora song. That was shade. But according to PORSHA, all of the alleged issues her and SHAMEA had, they discussed right then and there, and they kept it moving. However, it is coming out behind the scenes. There are other dinners, there are other lunches SHAMEA is having with the other ladies, with the new girls, and basically telling them, even though PORSHA and I squashed it, this actually is an issue. Even though PORSHA was late to my birthday, I still feel a way about that. Even though PORSHA and I talked out the issue about Never Had sounding like a Drew Sidora song, my feelings are still hurt about it, and I don't know how to bring it up to PORSHA. And Angela took that and put some butter on it, put some sauce on it. And Porsha did, she put the fan over her face and just broke down and couldn't believe it, right? And so none of the less, y'all still gossiping about it at Porsha's Pampered by Porsha event, right? But then you're mad at Porsha for presenting it to the group, but y'all ignoring how Kelly is trying to gaslight the friendship. Oh, I admire your friendship so much and how good of friends y'all are. But y'all were just talking greasy a few minutes ago about it. Y'all were talking greasy. Y'all kept talking about the situation, and it was supposed to be a meditation. It was supposed to be a quiet thing. This is why I'm team nobody, y'all. I'm team nobody in this. Because I feel like SHAMEA can be messy too. And she has displayed that even though she supposedly has all these feelings about Porsha, she was okay laughing when Porsha allegedly joked about sleeping with Angela's husband. She thought that was okay to laugh about because according to SHAMEA, that was her friend. But at the same token, at the time of filming, you supposedly are still gossiping behind Porsha's back and telling Kelly and telling Angela that deep down you still got issues with Porsha. But when you're in Porsha's face, you are laughing and kikiing like it's nobody's business. You're sitting in first class next to Porsha going to Nashville. You're FaceTiming Porsha anytime y'all go into an event. Even after Porsha makes the messy comment about, the song sounding like a Drew Sidora song, you leave with Porsha in Porsha's Rolls Royce. Even with the drama that happened with Kenya Moore's hair spa opening, you leave with Porsha. You're right behind her. So this is why people are like, is this a real falling out? Because in these behind the scenes, things, when these scenes conclude, y'all are together. But then SHAMEA's doing this media tour, and it's weird because everything I remember from Porsha's media tour is really not much discussion on SHAMEA. She's hyping her up. The only time she really came out and discussed her friendship was when Kandi put it out there that they weren't really that cool, where they weren't really that close. And that was when Porsha did that live and said, I don't want to twist what Kandi said or whatever else, but basically said she is correct. Me and SHAMEA aren't that good. And we see Porsha showing a lot of support for Britt. Even though people are not featuring for Britt, even SHAMEA is going on interviews saying Britt should be a one-season housewife, which is crazy. Like even if you agree with that, I don't like people trying to stop each other's back like this, right? Even if you're in the right, like that's not cool. That's not cool at all. Y'all got mad at Nene when Nene did it and used to be on Watch What Happens Live and say who she felt needed to get fired from the show and all of this and all that. If y'all gonna have that same energy, don't do that to these other housewives that are doing stuff like that. That's not cool. Right? Let whatever's gonna play out with Britt, because Britt will hang herself in due time. Right? So nonetheless, SHAMEA saying that, Porsha's still trying to give props to these new girls, even though they're shading her. And then Porsha is using her social media. She's hyping up Angela. She's calling Angela the queen. She's hyping up Cynthia. Cynthia wishing a happy birthday. I don't think SHAMEA acknowledges the happy birthday. SHAMEA seems more upset about Porsha being closer to the actual housewives, whether it is Phaedra and now Cynthia, than she is about what the real issues are. That is my takeaway. She is jealous that Porsha can utilize and magnify her longstanding actual friendships with Phaedra and with Cynthia, even if there was some mess in between, and prioritize that over SHAMEA's friendship with Porsha. That's the real issue. But I find it interesting, Phaedra and Kandi were the ones that came into this show being thick as thieves, being real friends. And it's like, right at that falling out, it's like Porsha latched on to Phaedra, and people keep forgetting, even though Porsha was there being messy or being quiet when Phaedra was talking all that stuff about SHAMEA, making allegations about SHAMEA, Kandi, and Todd and everything else. But y'all keep forgetting, Porsha was upset, according to Kandi, Porsha was upset about the budding friendship between Kandi and SHAMEA. Porsha had a problem with that as well, because Porsha felt Kandi was trying to come in between that. And there's already issues. Porsha will never go and speak on it as long as Jamie, who was another former friend of Porsha's that Porsha beat up in the alley allegedly, that now works for Kandi still. And Porsha knows that Kandi Coded Click hates her. So it's awkward all the way around. Y'all talking about fake friendships and letting outsiders come in, but at the same token, I can argue that SHAMEA links up with the people who are Porsha's ops or have an issue with Porsha at the time as well. So I feel like at the same token, like y'all both do messy stuff and y'all been doing messy stuff, but for y'all to allow y'all friendship, if it's really for real and legit, to crumble like this in 2.5 seconds, was it a real friendship to begin with, or were y'all just holding on for the sake that y'all were trying to make it last longer than what y'all moms did, and it just wasn't going to happen? Because even SHAMEA, after dragging Porsha and Watch What Happens Live, kind of switched up on the Breakfast Club and was so happy that Porsha did a birthday post for SHAMEA, was so happy that Porsha allegedly texted SHAMEA for her birthday and said that made her day, and that was above everybody else. And then went on to defend Porsha. Oh, I really don't think Portia's into Charles like that. She was just joking and this and that and da-da-da-da-da. Went back into defense mode. But at the same token, there is mess there. There is mess there and there is drama there, because even in the clip that we see that's going to air tomorrow, she presents this as though I don't talk about our friendship behind people's back, but we know from Angela and we know from Kelly that SHAMEA does talk about the friendship behind Porsha's back. That's the one thing that these housewives can't say this season, at least unless there's some deleted scenes or something we don't know about. They can't say that Porsha is talking greasy about SHAMEA and their friendship behind their back. The only messy scene we've seen is, what Mama Diane has said. And the only other thing Porsha has said is, I believe she said it on Watch What Happens Live. That was really the only dig at SHAMEA. She felt that SHAMEA put sauce on what Drew Sidora said about her working with, Dennis. She should be happy because that's going to pay for Pilar's college fund and some other stuff. Other than that, Porsha hasn't said too much on SHAMEA. She's kind of been mute on SHAMEA. She's been hyping SHAMEA up and said SHAMEA's always been that housewife. SHAMEA's always been successful and had a rich husband and da-da-da-da-da. So I don't think this is going to go the way really for Porsha and really for SHAMEA. I think SHAMEA's lost a lot of favor too with the fans. I think she came in hot. People were hyping her up, but she keeps showing signs that she's going to go back to a default mode that people feel is a red flag. That you're going to ignore problematic comments if you're cool with the person instead of holding them accountable. And now her and Kelly are backtracking on laughing at the comments that Porsha made about Angela. Now they're saying that it's wrong because of the backlash and because Angela Oakley is becoming now the favorite out of the new girls. So now SHAMEA is trying to work it back, and it's like, listen, you should have just owned it and said, listen, I'm a ride for it. It was funny. I didn't take it serious, da-da-da-da-da. But now, that's what you said on the Breakfast Club. But now you're saying something else on your YouTube. And then you said something else on Watch What Happens Live, in which you said if somebody can take somebody's husband, it wasn't their husband to begin with. And that includes my husband. And then you said about the rumors about the side baby, that nonetheless, that if somebody joked that Gerald had a side baby, you would bring it here so you don't have to pay for a surrogate. And I was like, that is a very odd thing to say. Basically welcoming cheating in your marriage. Like it's odd to say something like that. And then you backtrack that So it's a lot on both sides, and I'm team nobody, y'all. I am team nobody on this because I feel like with PORSHA, we see her messiness front and center. And I feel SHAMEA is more sneaky with her messiness, but then is going to get on camera and be like, no, 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 no. And that is where it's like, nah, because Angela put you out and Kelly put you out there. So there's that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post the content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.